Hello, my name's James Piecowye, and this is TechTalk, a Podaholiks podcast, recorded this week at the Rove Hotel, Healthcare City, Dubai. TechTalk is a conversation between myself and Andrew Thomas, the managing director of Nexa, digitalnexa.com. We talk about the tech that's on our minds. We talk about gadgets. We talk about new releases. We talk about things that are happening in the technology world that maybe they're on your mind, maybe they're up and coming, maybe they've been around for a long time and they've just started to bug you. We generally have that water cooler conversation about the tech around us. Enough of me. Let's get to the conversation. Okay, let's start.
Cool.
Let's start. Let's start doing this.
Yeah.
Tech Talk's the program.
That's it.
Andrew Thomas, James Piecowye.
TikTok. What did you say?
Tech.
Oh, TechTalk.
Not tick. We're
Sorry.
not talking about ticks. We're talking about tech.
So you said TikTok, and it was like some sort of clock show.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Steady.
We talk technology, and
Yep.
I got to say the best message I got last week about technology was from you
Oh.
when you were calling me,
Yes.
and you were noting that you were actually responding on the voicemail of my phone.
Oh yeah.
And you left the message that,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
people use voicemail?
Exactly.
Someone's got voicemail?
Yeah. That was a genuine surprise. I just it caught me off guard.
And you left a message.
I did leave a message because I thought it would be quite fun. Yeah, it caught me off guard completely. I just didn't know people had messages anymore.
But don't people use voicemail on their phones?
I don't think people leave messages.
Okay.
Do you? I think
Yes.
what people do is I think what other people do is they hang up and they send you a WhatsApp.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
I think. That's what happens.
I leave a message and probably that's it. I never go to the WhatsApp.
I don't even know if I've got.
That accounts for the reason I never get callbacks from
Exactly.
the messages.
But I don't even know if I've got voicemail on my phone.
You must.
Okay, but I've never.
You've never
So as I
accessed it.
sit here now, I've never accessed my voicemail. So I've probably got like some sort of graveyard of callers on there. Hey, listen, Andrew, can you call me? It's quite urgent. And it's like 6 years ago.
You've got no idea.
I'm at the airport.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. So what I find incredible
Hmm.
as we're talking about technology,
Yeah,
as we're
yeah.
talking about things, how fast things have transitioned from let's leave a voice message, which 5 years
Yeah.
ago was big deal.
Yeah.
10 years ago, man, you had voice message on your phone, and now it's I'm going to WhatsApp or I'm going to ping them over on Snap.
I've started. I really hated this, but I found it doing myself the voice WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, especially when I'm driving and I've just gone da, 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 da. But I don't know why I've done it to you, but I
Yes.
don't know why I wouldn't call you.
Yeah. It's true.
'Cause I've taken-
you did that the other day.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
sent me
totally.
the voice WhatsApp,
right.
and then I called you.
Yeah, I've taken the time to locate WhatsApp, locate your name, and then push the button for record a message, which I could have quite easily got an instant reply.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. For whatever reason, I didn't want to call you.
Well, it's in that. I think that whole call people mentality is gone. I mean, I have an office in my. I have a phone in my office at the university.
Yeah.
I get maybe one call a week on that line. People send me emails.
That's
They'll
right.
WhatsApp me.
Yeah.
They don't call.
It's a big Gary Vee thing where it's like, do people still like being spoken to? And frankly speaking, no, people just don't like being spoken to. That's the raw fact of it. It's kind of, no, can we send a message? Can we send a WhatsApp? Can we do this?
Yeah.
It's not.
They don't want to engage.
Yeah, they don't want to engage. Yeah, and also that is a challenge because some of the language we use in a textual format doesn't have the nuances or the balance of voice tone, and sometimes things can be completely misconstrued.
Absolutely.
And even between close friends.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you mean by that? Nothing. What do you know? So it's kind of, it's we all need to kind of ditch technology. There we go. So that's the end of the
There we go.
podcast.
It's all
Tech
over.
Talk. It's just 2 episodes only. So.
Apple's released a whole bunch of new stuff. You
They
were actually
have.
excited. Now you're thinking you're back
Yeah.
to the iPad Pro.
Yeah, that was the one that's
You think?
one that got me buzzed. Because it was
Nothing got me buzzed. I watched everything came out. I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. A friend came home from Australia yesterday
Okay.
with an XR.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he loves it. He says,
yeah.
you know what? Hey, it works, and it's got that middle ground So
Yeah.
what was the higher version goes from 64 GB.
it's a big one, right?
Yeah, there's 64, or you have 256, but there's no middle ground. So the XR has the middle ground of storage.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he's loading up. He said, yeah, I really like it. It's working.
Yeah.
And he says, except it's got the new operating system. He was coming from like a 6S, I
Right,
think.
okay, yeah.
And so it's got the new operating system, doesn't have the thumb thing.
Face
yeah, it's
thing.
face.
Yeah.
And so now he's got to get used
to the T-zone.
and to sweeping up and sweeping aside. So he's had a little bit of learning.
Yeah.
But he loved it. And I looked at it, and all I kept saying when I was looking at this XR or the 10R, depending on how I'm looking at it, and I'm going, 3 years ago, Andrew Thomas told me, why would you have such a big phone? These things. That's when I was rocking the I don't know what it was, the Note 5 or the Note 4 or the Note.
Something like that, wasn't it?
It was a Note, and you know, these things are all bigger than that original Note was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's the world come to? But, you know, I looked at all these things that came up from Apple, and I thought, okay, this is cool. This is nice. Touchscreen yet on the MacBook Pro? No. It's like... You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to do that.
I think they should.
No, but they kind of cannibalize their products then because I mean that new iPad Pro, the kind of width, the weight, and also the fact that it's got a USB-C connector now as well.
Well, I mean that's what they've bought into heavy on everything,
and it's USB-C on there, and also the flat clip now for the pen as well. I think it's
wireless charging for that.
Wireless charging. I think that is close now to that desktop replacement. And what I've been doing,
so close, or is it there?
Well, I've been genuinely monitoring because I think I said to you previously, the thing that worried me was about running multiple applications and then also Excel. They fixed the multiple applications. I mean, seeing how they beautifully jump between applications, heavy duty applications, and there's zero impact on functionality. The fact that the top end one goes, I think, up to 1 terabyte.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Of space. You know, when I look at most of my activity is based in the cloud, I think the only thing that I'd kind of, I don't know, not struggle with, but I guess you're used to the tilt of your screen. When you've got a MacBook or a MacBook Pro, you can tilt that screen however you want, which can be useful, especially if you're on a non-flat surface.
Sure.
So whereas obviously the keyboard alignment and the stand is very rigid still with that Pro. So
I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, I've downsized from a 17-inch screen to this. I don't know what this is.
13, I think. Yeah,
13.5.
Yeah.
You know what's happened in the office?
No.
I got an external monitor.
Right.
And I'm using an external keyboard.
Really, yeah?
So when I'm sitting at work.
Mac or no?
Yeah, I do have a Mac. So I have a Mac keyboard, but not a Mac monitor.
Okay.
So I'm giving up my Retina display.
Yeah.
And I'm using...
Why are you doing that then?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I want a larger screen.
So you're not running 2 screens because our good friend Jatin runs 2 screens continuously.
No, I'm just running one larger screen.
Right.
And I'm using the...
Poor quality,
but I'm willing to take the poor quality for the larger screen.
For the size.
And because this trackpad drives me bananas because I always hit it.
Really?
And so...
Just change the sensitivity on it. That's what I did.
I got to do that.
I changed the sensitivity because I had a similar problem.
What did you change? I'm doing it right now. What did you change the sensitivity to?
It's in, I don't know.
I know where it is.
Settings and then keyboard and then touchpad. And
touchpad, a trackpad. Okay, I'm on the trackpad.
Like
so what did you change it to?
I can't remember.
Oh, you see there?
I did it. I can open it up.
Thinking track speed.
Great radio.
Click. Yeah, I know. We're doing on the spot. Maybe it's medium click. No, track speed. I've already got it at slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, okay. Oh, there must be something else. I did something. So,
all right, we're gonna figure that out because that drives me nuts. I'll be typing away, and somehow I've highlighted something and I've erased it.
Jumped over,
yeah, and I'm going what?
Yeah, but you look at the screen when you're typing, right?
Usually.
Yeah.
So it just anyway.
You pick it up that mistake pretty early then.
So the funniest thing is I'm using an external Mac keyboard.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the keyboard's got to be about 8 years old.
Yeah, they must be. Yeah.
Oh no, the one I'm got. So you got a lot of people using the wireless ones and all that. Yeah, not the one I'm using. You remember those
the USB plug-in?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
You remember those Macs that had the clear
iMac
case?
Yeah, that's like 15 years.
I swear the keyboard looks just like one of those. It's a manual. It's a manual iMac. I'm sure it's one of those.
15 years ago.
So and you know what? I'm still happy using it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
so I mean, look, I think that they've thought about some of the design on some of these new things as well. So they've gone back to design them, and we haven't had a chance to talk about the new watch or anything like that as well. But I think they've kind of made enough of a jump on certain things that it justifies either an upgrade or look. You're always going to get with Apple products. You're always going to get people that get just the latest and greatest,
right? And
then you're going to get people like me that skip a couple of generations and then go, okay, there's enough in that. I mean, for me, the dual SIM now.
See, that makes a big difference.
I am actually getting tired of carrying 2 phones now.
Yeah.
So I do. You know,
I'm surprised at how long it took them to get into a dual SIM mode.
Yeah,
like it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I've been rocking dual SIM for like 5 years on all my other Android devices.
But I think, I don't know, perhaps the functionality wasn't there, or perhaps something wasn't there. But I mean, for me, the dual SIM, I think is a bit of a, that looks like a nice leap across. Yeah. Because then I can dump one of these phones. Yeah. So, you know, carrying around 2 phones is a bit of a pain.
I've kind of abandoned using an iPad. iPods are gone, but for me, but an iPad, I've abandoned using one. I had one, I gave it back. I just don't see, based on the fact that I got the MacBook Pro running, I don't see why I would want an iPad at this point.
I mean, I think iPad for me is very much kind of magazines, reading, having a look through websites, that kind of thing. I mean, I tend not to, and it's also one of the reasons why I do want to get the larger phone now, because you know, because it just allows me more to read. And that
I told you you'd want one.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think it's an age thing as well.
Yeah.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
I just think it.
But I think if I've got,
but if you have the larger phone, do you still? Couldn't you read your newspapers and all your stuff off that phone and not need the iPad?
No, and that's the thing. You don't. I don't think you need. It's all down to requirement. I mean, some people are using iPads to take notes. Some people are using iPads to draw. Yeah. You know, I mean, in kind of, you know, come up with different designs. Some people using it for video editing. Some people just like the functionality of an iPad. They don't need the power of an iPad Pro or whatever. So I think they've reached that kind of point now where there's enough in the family that you can pretty much tick all the boxes for most people. You know, whereas before there was very definite, okay, this can do this and this can do this, and then that's it. But now you've got so much choice across the range. And price.
Do you think, given that, I mean, even the prices have come down a little bit, the price for the quality of the product you're getting is probably spot on. Do you think, given the new Apple products that have come out, do you think there's going to be people who will migrate over from a Microsoft world or, you know, the DOS world to does anyone call it DOS anymore?
I don't think so. I think we're showing our age. Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure
a
what
Windows
you're talking about.
environment? Like, do you think someone would see this new stuff and say, man, I'm dumping my Windows and I'm heading over to Mac?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's still there's still an attraction to a MacBook. Right, so aesthetically and status,
recycled. The new ones all recycled aluminum.
Yeah, so I think there's still something from a status or aesthetically pleasing value that people do like Macs, even though there's some incredible PCs or laptops now. Yeah. You know, especially when I was at GITEX a few weeks back, there were some beautiful ones there. So I think, but that still holds some value. Power users of either system will notice a dramatic difference. If you're just browsing and you're doing email and stuff, I mean, honestly speaking, it's a fairly quick crossover. So I don't know if, you know, it's a good friend of mine was saying, I'm thinking about, you know, jumping over to that kind of new Samsung, like the look of it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but how else is your iPhone? He's been an iPhone user for years. So like, how else is the iPhone connected to your life? So what do you mean? And I was like, well, have a look around. He goes, well, I've got my Sonos, I've got my MacBook, I've got my Apple TV, I've got he's like, hold on a minute.
You're wed to it. He can't go over.
So he's kind of, he's in that area. But with the new phones, you know, this was a couple of months ago, with the new phones, he's like, now actually, no, I don't need to. Yeah. So I think he was looking at the camera aspect and some of the new camera functionalities on the Samsung and the Huawei and, you know, some of those functionalities. But there's still people that are not going to make that jump, I don't think.
No, I still think it's very much you've got, if you're a Mac person, you're going to stay in the Mac world. Yeah. If you're in any of the other platforms, you might look at it and you say, it's really cool, I could use it. But I think a lot of people just aren't going to make the jump.
It still feels here like a lot more hardcore Apple people than Samsung people. You know, you kind of see a guy with an Apple Watch.
Does the stats show us that, though? I mean, I see it, but
I'm in 4 or 5 meetings a day.
I know
there's more people rocking Apple and in love with Apple. It's sort of like watch. I've got 2 iPhones. I've got a MacBook. You know, that kind of thing, rather than Samsung and Samsung Watch and Samsung this.
I never. You see, that's a crazy thing. I did bring that up. I don't see people rocking the Android watches that much. No. I don't. You know, even Huawei's got their own one. I never see anyone wearing one of those, ever.
No, I mean, you see a lot of Apple Watches around.
And
also, I mean, I
those.
think the thing is now that telcos are providing the ability to have one relatively inexpensively. I mean, you can get a watch, the 3, for kind of 80 dirhams a month.
Yeah. That's something that's affordable.
With cellular. So I mean, that's affordable, and that's kind of within a lot of people's range of nice products on their wrists. So
I want to talk more about the Apple stuff. They've brought back the Mac Mini in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done some cool stuff with that. I mean, it's got great internal storage. It's fast.
Yeah.
2 terabytes. I mean, we're going from 64 gigs to 2 terabytes.
Yeah.
November 7th, this thing is going to be available. Why did they bring this back? Like, I mean, it was for the longest time, it was sort of gone. It was away from people's mind, and they've still got some old connectors on it too. It's it's still got Thunderbolt connectors.
I got to the point where I was using my Mac Mini for my front room.
Yeah.
So I basically had it hooked into the TV and was using it for kind of video and stuff like that. But I mean, it's I guess at the end of the day, there's still people rocking, that office home lifestyle. And the fact is that someone in your case, for example, you could have a Mac Mini at work with a nice screen, and then come home and have your iPad or have something different. So I mean, I think that's it.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
I was sort of looking at the connectors. You got your Ethernet connector, which you don't see on things so for me that becomes suddenly a hold on. I can use this at home, and I can connect in with an Ethernet port.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm liking that. And then it's got 3 Thunderbolt connectors on the back, which, Thunderbolt 3s. It's like, this thing
I
kind of
think
works.
this is kind of more upgrading legacy systems. If someone's got a couple of Mac Minis already, this is what it feels like. I mean, I don't know if that's right, but it kind of is what it feels like.
I looked at it with the price point and thought, you know what? I might actually be interested in jumping in that way because I like the idea. It's so small. I like the idea you can keep running all the junk that I run. And it still fits in beautifully.
Yeah.
So and it looks it's mini. It's just this little box.
Yeah, I mean, the only frustrating thing is they've come out with this new MacBook Air as well, right? So I mean, that's kind of frustrating.
They kind of totally redesigned the thing.
Yeah,
and
that looks beautiful.
It's like, hold on,
Yeah.
I'm looking at that going, maybe I want a Mac Air, and I'm not even usually thinking that way.
No,
but
I mean, super light, super kind of, I mean, at a fairly decent price point.
Well,
so.
and that for me became the next conversation was, okay, you've got the new MacBook Air. Why would I not get a MacBook Air instead of getting an iPad? Like, I know that.
And this is really, you've got a good point. It's massively confusing now, I think, for MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, and iPad Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely,
they all have the same connections now.
I mean,
like, there's no difference.
Yeah, exactly. As far as, and even as well, I mean, they've got 2 connectors, obviously, so you can do that. I mean, I like the move with the USB-C because it does obviously give them a bit more flexibility. And perhaps it's just about usage. Power users or people that are doing editing, video editing and stuff need that MacBook Pro. I mean, in all intents and purposes, I don't really need this MacBook Pro for what I use it for. I don't actually need it for that. So, but I mean, it's I can't justify buying a new one. So,
I like the fact when you look at the Air, it's 10% thinner. 17% less volume. I mean, this thing was already
less calories.
Yeah, already tiny.
Yeah,
and now it literally is going to fit into a file folder.
That's it. Yeah, super small.
And you still got a 13.3-inch display.
Yeah,
so
and it'd be interesting. I don't know if they released the battery life on this. How many hours it had?
No one's talking battery life these days.
But I mean, this is definitely that thing that you grab and go to your meeting or kind of. I mean, hopefully it would last a day on the charge.
Well. The other side is, even if it doesn't last a day on the charge, probably would. But with the new superchargers,
yes,
you plug it in.
Yeah,
I'm shocked at how fast my machine charges, my MacBook Pro.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're using MacBook Pro. Do you update to the latest operating system?
I haven't yet.
Oh, I did. I did.
Mojave or something?
Mojave.
Yeah, I guess it looks different, doesn't it?
Looks like a desert. But I like the fact that during the day it's light, and then at night it's dark.
But there's some stacks and stuff you can do. There's
changes stuff.
Yeah.
I
It's a pretty nifty update by all accounts. I just haven't decided to jump on it yet.
So the only challenge was when I updated a few of the things that I was using for software, I had to update those as well. Fortunately, there were updates available.
Right, okay.
But they came up with nice prompts. Hey, you got to optimize this for your system. You're no longer using the latest version, blah, blah, blah. Which was fine. And
no, and I haven't done it out of this, my usual kind of, I'll wait
fear?
till... Yeah,
Fear?
exactly. Yeah, fear. Fear's a strong word. Skepticism is probably a better word.
Let's let Piecowye do it and hear about all the things that don't work.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
then
100%. But I think the thing is, I'm more and more cloud-based anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I have Slack as an application and Evernote, and that's it.
There you go.
You know, everything else is cloud-based.
Yeah.
So I open up with kind of 10 tabs open.
Yeah.
But everything is in there and it's cloud-based. So it's tough to kind of move away from there. So I'm basically just operating a browser. I mean, I may as well be sitting on a Chromebook.
Well, you know what? I've been thinking about this for a long time about why am I not using a Chromebook?
Yeah.
And the only reason is some of the Adobe products that I use not going to work
right
well.
Yeah.
And now with everything Adobe being cloud,
Yeah, it's based in the cloud now. Yeah,
I'm constantly getting updates on that, which is great.
It may be the shift across.
So
The push you need.
maybe
it.
I don't know. But it's the irony is I'm using Google stuff anyway. So when you're talking cloud, I'm also in the cloud, and I'm using a lot of Google Cloud products. I got a few storage things up in the cloud. Someone looks at I got stuff sitting on the desktop. I got a few tabs, but most of it sits somewhere else.
Look out, whole sales and marketing, environment is running the cloud.
And my thing's total fear. That's why I'm in the cloud, because I was rocking those old MacBook Pros, and I was using actual
solid state.
So I'm on solid state now, but I actually had the hard disks in, and inevitably they'd crash or something would happen. I'd lose everything.
That's it.
So after the second time that happened, nothing lives really on the computer anymore.
No.
So if the computer crashes, gets stolen, whatever,
fine.
It's like, I'll get everything somewhere else.
Remote wipe, remote wipe, and then that's it, job done.
I got to set that up.
True. Yeah.
So it's kind of...
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
We were talking a little bit earlier about, how the fact that technology has moved so fast, and we were talking about answering machines and things. I thought it was interesting with there's been some blowback. It's been a while now, but some blowback on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've jumped up their word count. So, and I thought it was very interesting. I was reading some stuff this week about the 140 to 280 word jump.
Yeah.
And Twitter's kind of come out on a little bit of the offensive.
Yeah.
Sort of justifying it, talking about why they did it. And they said, one thing that's happened is it started to eliminate some of the short forms that are used, like GR8, which I thought was grade 8 for, I don't know, a long time.
Grade 8?
Grade 8. grade 8.
Really? Unbelievable. Mr. Piecowye, the coolest teacher on the block.
I kept wondering, why is everyone talking about grade 8?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But people use...
You understood before, right? What did you think before?
I had no idea. I'm looking at B4.
Do you know what this other one is, by the way? I think this is sorry, right?
Yeah.
SRY.
Yeah. No, B4. I'm going B4. Why is I thought it was like the vitamin. Why are people talking about?
No, you did.
I did. But
clearly, you're just running at an intelligent level that I'm just below that plane.
Everyone's going.
That's it. Everyone's below that plane.
Can't try that. No, but the thing is, people who are sending me messages don't use these short forms.
I've definitely used great and before, 100%.
Yeah, well, if you've used before, I had no idea what the heck that was.
On Twitter, genuinely, there has been moments where I've had to shorten what I wanted to say in the past.
Right.
And I didn't want to. But it was kind of using some of that, I'd say almost tech speak.
Yeah.
Right? Our HR and things like this. Yeah. And I didn't want to. Right. I mean, I genuinely.
Well, that's what Twitter's saying that has changed, as well as people writing full word please and thank you is up by 22%. In their messages.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice.
I'm thinking that is nice.
Yeah, please follow me. Yeah, thanks. I wonder how many of those count for that.
Lots.
Yeah, that percentage.
Please follow me.
Please. Yeah, just the whole tweet of please.
I keep trying that.
That's it. Please follow me. That's the tactics, running ads on please follow me.
Yeah, just please follow me.
I mean, do you know what? I haven't really noticed a difference. But I really only use Twitter voyeuristically when I'm here. It's only when I'm outside of the UAE when I actually tweet.
Okay.
So, and that's mainly because there's just higher engagement.
Yeah.
So there's higher engagement, at events, at conferences, across the board. People will communicate with you on Twitter, whereas here there's kind of like a hardcore group of Twitter users,
Right.
I think, and then it kind of falls away a bit.
I'm more Instagram at this point. I do have a Facebook account, and I do put stuff there, but, my wife will always say, oh, did you see this on Facebook? And it's like, no. I mean, I truly, unless it comes to me as a message, someone will say, are you scrolling down and seeing the comments on this? I was like, no, I don't have time.
No,
honestly, and it's same with Twitter. Because it's what did I heard someone talking yesterday, and they just called it the fire hose approach. Because it just fires so much at you at one time. I like my Instagram a little bit better because there's a little bit more of a filter. There's a little bit more of a direction to it, and which is what a lot of people hate.
I think
but
it's interesting.
I find it a little more targeted, and I enjoy that.
And I've noticed, and it hasn't been through any grand plan, but I've noticed that Twitter is more business focused, I'd say, as far as who I follow and who I listen to from a marketing perspective, social perspective, that kind of thing. My Facebook is dominated by tech. So, startups and tech and shoppable and things like that. And my Instagram is actually food, influencers and things like that.
So I keep sending you the burger posts.
That's it. but so it's interesting how through not any grand plan, I genuinely have kind of put my activity in different compartments, and they just happen to live in those social spheres.
How much time do you spend on your socials in a day, do you think?
I'm not sure. Not
over an hour?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I'd say I would have done, but I'd honestly at the moment it's quite a busy times, let's say. So I'd say that I probably look at LinkedIn. No, I'd say Twitter the most at the moment because I'm looking at traffic lights. I'm looking at in lifts. Yeah. I'm kind of catching snacks of time. Yeah. I like Twitter for that because it's usually something that I can highlight and read or save for later.
So for me, it's I've got notifications set, and I follow those notifications on my phone toolbar. So I tend to be using Twitter and Instagram and looking at it, and even Facebook stuff on my phone. I don't tend to be doing it on my computer. Yeah. But when I get notified of something, I'll go and read those notifications, and then I might take a little stroll through the Twitterverse. Yeah. And I found I timed it the other day. So how much time do I actually spend looking before I give up?
11 minutes?
Not even. About 5 minutes.
Really?
4.5 minutes was last week. Yeah. Was what it averaged out to on Twitter in a day. Yeah. And Instagram, maybe 10.
There's I'm pretty sure there's an application that will track your application usage.
You should do that.
In fact, I think that might be on the iPhone.
Maybe they do it.
I think it might be on the iPhone.
Yeah, I think
you
can
track kind of your usage on those different apps. I mean, Maps probably gets the most amount of usage from me.
I know with the Google, if you're using Google Fit, it tracks all your usages as well. So it tells you how long you've been online, how long you've been on your socials, which is kind of cool.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
I met someone today who uses Google Maps as their travel guide. So it's very cool. So she basically...
Oh, yeah, I do that quite a bit. I don't use it as a travel guide, but I'll be the person who writes in comments based on my Google Maps.
No. So what she's doing is when she travels all over the world, she saves locations.
Okay.
So she can click on her global view and see exactly where she was, how long she was there, what she did, what she visited. And she's got an entire record of her global travels through Maps. She saves all of the restaurants.
Cool.
So I was blown away by it. Yeah, genuinely. It's the first person I've seen who's done that.
What a great idea.
Yeah. It was fantastic. I didn't even know you...
Can you share all that then? Can you export?
You can share it. You can export it. But I mean, what it is it's like in 2012, I was in the floating market in Thailand, in Bangkok.
Yeah,
and what did I do? And in pictures, and you can see that.
What a great idea!
Cool. Yeah, so I quite liked it. So,
again, that's the Google verse, right?
Yeah, and that's the Google verse because I've seen. Obviously, I've got another friend of mine who basically does check-ins. So he checks in on Facebook.
I never do
that. Shout out, Mark. And he checks in on Facebook to remind him of moments.
Okay.
So he'll check in on Facebook at a particular hotel or airport or whatever, just so he's got a chronological timeline of where he visited, which I thought was pretty cool as well. Yeah. But I've never done that. I never do. I mean, the last time I checked in was when I was using Foursquare.
I was going to ask, you still use Foursquare anymore? No, it's gone.
But
does anyone use Foursquare?
It's big here, yeah. With tourists, it's still big. So if you jump on Foursquare, you see a lot of reviews. because internationally people are still using it. Okay. I mean, I didn't even, last time I was in the States, I didn't even use it. I used Yelp.
That's 2 years ago. You were like the big, I mean, I remember 2 years ago, you were Foursquare guy.
Yeah. But when they did that whole split with Swarm, it just, I mean, the fun part was gamification, being a mayor of places and stuff. But as soon as you kind of turn it into that local listing, and also it's incredibly difficult to compete with Google now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking something up, that Google pack comes up
right there.
It gives you everything. So I mean, it's hard to kind of open up another app to look at something.
Which is part of the thing that bugs me. And maybe it's Google, but it's just the general world of the way we're finding things, the way we're searching things, the way the algorithm works, and it just starts funneling certain things towards you all the time now because, hey, I saw you looking at this, and I saw you looking at that, and you were looking at this restaurant and that kind of restaurant, and then suddenly all I'm getting is these types of restaurants. I'm going, I want some more variety. Stop bombarding
I mean,
me.
a wildly frustrating thing here, I think, that I've come across most recently is being directed to an Arabic language page within Google and not having the ability to click out of it anyway.
Right, yeah.
So there was no option to change the language and just saying, okay, you're in the UAE, it's Arabic, and that's it. Even though my entire browsing history is based on that particular language, and every single Gmail, Drive, everything English is selected.
That's got to be a bug.
So, yeah. What it was, because basically I just fired up a different browser and everything was okay. So there's obviously some sort of caching issue or cookie or something that is telling it wrong. Interestingly enough, I had a similar.
Those become really important now. All these cookies and all the caching.
It's interesting. I had a similar situation. I was been asking a general consensus. So I got a warning. All of my communication from my telcos, and I'm on Do and Etisalat, are in English. So, hey, listen, here's a special offer. Here's Do 2-for-1 code. Here's this, here's that. All of them in English. And I got a warning the other day, and it was my data usage.
It's only in Arabic.
Only in Arabic.
Mine too.
Right, so everyone...
and there's no way to translate
it.
No,
but I don't...
Why is that?
Everyone I've spoken to has that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the story is there.
Yeah. I don't know why it's only in Arabic.
I don't think they've managed to translate that maximum critical mass thing, but it's quite amusing.
It is. I get that all the time, and I'm wondering, hold on, why am I getting this?
Yeah, well, I was surprised because I'm on a 25 gig package.
You used up 25 gigs?
Yeah.
What were you? Wow.
Well, I tend not to.
So you're hotspotting.
I tend not to jump on open networks.
Yeah.
From a kind of security standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm not fear. Just I mean, it's so easy to hijack an operating system or phone if you're in a public.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
I think people forget about this.
Yeah.
We've gotten so used to the idea that, hey, I can get on to I'm at a restaurant,
Wi-Fi.
free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
High speed, yes.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, what's this stuff on my computer?
Exactly.
What's going on?
Well, part of the time you don't even know. You're just set up as a drone somewhere that's basically being used as a server farm to fire out spam emails. So your system suffers this tremendous slowdown over a wild period of time, and it's just like, well, hold on a minute, I haven't added anything new. What's going on? And meanwhile, you can see, what's going. What was pretty scary is a guy in the States last week, and I think I shared this in the notes, but he basically showed what's being shared with Google. So he had one phone in airplane mode and took a trip around Washington, went to a monument, went to the White House, bounced around, did that. And he had one phone on, but no data. And then what he did is he went back in this kind of office, and he plugged in a system that allowed them to check what was being broadcast. And as soon as he connected to the internet, it shot a whole lot of information across to Google.
Really?
So basically...
So it's collecting it all.
Yeah, it was collecting it, and it was showing you where he'd been, how long he'd spent there, within 15 meter, tracking him on the maps. Even though he didn't have maps open, he had it on airplane mode, but the local kind of file was still capturing that data and shooting it straight back to Google.
Wow.
So it's quite interesting. They were just saying, just because your phone's off, just because it's in airplane mode, don't believe that, what was going to happen. I mean, there's a reason that when you land in a foreign country, not only does the telco say, oh, welcome to Saudi Arabia, but also when you go on Facebook, it's like, oh, it's 20 degrees in Riyadh this morning. Hold on a minute. I didn't tell you I was in Riyadh, but, it's picking up straight away. So, quite interesting.
We like the convenience, but just, the other side
it's that trade-off. We've said it before, creepiness versus convenience.
Creepiness, it is.
Yeah, the CC trade-off.
Speaking of, going back to some of these cool things, the geo-greeting, posted up the link here. It's geogreeting.com. And I didn't realize this still worked. It's a Google Earth View program that you can make greeting cards or send greetings to people. It doesn't make a card, but it then goes through Google Maps and finds buildings shaped like the letters you want to put into your greeting.
It's bizarre.
Bizarre. It's been around for years, and it's free.
It doesn't seem to have changed, but
it looks like it's been around for years.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it's old school.
It just seems very odd, doesn't it?
It is odd.
Yeah, it's just kind of this is one of those cool things that's out there again that not many people know about. But it's kind of fun for a little bit. That's it.
And there's no rhyme or reason to it either. That's the other side to it. It's just buildings shaped like letters.
Exactly. Comedy value.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't. The other side of it is I'm going to say, well, have you sent this to anyone?
No.
No, I
That's it.
Maybe I should.
Yeah. Give it a go. See if it's see if you can get some
traction,
affiliate points or something.
You think?
That's it. Yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of technology, the Carrefour over by my place in Murdoch, big shout out to Carrefour, has now got self-checkout.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they've taken it a step further than North America. We're self-checkout and you just go and put stuff down.
Yeah.
They literally give you a phaser. They give you a scanner.
Yeah, we've got that in the UK.
Put your own bags in your thing, and then you just scan away.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end, scan the QR code, and pay.
Yeah.
I've been stopped, though, now because I said to the guy...
you look like a thief?
Nah. But because...
You're way too bright to not be noticed. The guy in a white shirt, I'm pretty sure he's going unnoticed. He's trying to steal something.
But they've now done random spot checking.
Yeah,
because I clearly, and I when it first came out,
you got that face.
Yeah, I'm thinking when it first came out, I was telling some folks about it. And they said, "Well, what's to stop someone from buying the most expensive ribeye and scanning in the cheapest rump,
chuck steak?
Chuck steak." And I said, "Well, who would do that?" And they looked at me and go, "Really?" And a week later,
I don't know if you. But saying that though, I don't think you would hear.
So. Clearly,
there doesn't seem to be any crime here.
Clearly, someone has started to try and do that at Carrefour because there's 100% honor system.
Yeah.
And so then the guy stopped us. You've been you're a random checker, and they put a sign up. We're going to do random inspections, and the guy then had to go through and he looked. He was looking for very particular items.
Yeah,
so he had to find 30 items, and he's looking for 30 of these higher, more expensive items. And he's scanning to see, yep, you put in the right price. You put in the right price. You put in the right price.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went.
Yeah.
Really?
It's funny, since I've had a beard, I get randomly selected quite a lot. So I've obviously got to give Carrefour a wide berth, as it were.
But I hats off to the guys, because it sped up my whole process.
See, the only thing is, I know when I've been back in the UK, so back in the UK now, you've actually got a full self-serve checkout with the whole rolling banner and everything. So you can have like a trolley load of shopping, not just a basket, and do all of your shopping. And then check out the till beep, 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 beep. And there was a massive encouragement last time I was back to, hey, listen, you can go here. I was like, do I get a discount? And they were like, what do you mean? I said, well, you're not, I'm checking my own stuff out and I'm bagging it. So do I get a discount? And they were like, no. And I'm like, I'm good then. I'm going to wait here and then let somebody else.
Well, that was my other thing. I thought, why aren't they encouraging someone to do that and say, look, we'll give you 25 Ds off or something. And then when I got random spot checked, I'm kind of going, well, what's in this for me then?
Yeah,
why am I not just going to the guy at the counter?
Just doing it.
I said, hold on. Now you've slowed down the process.
Yeah. I mean, I find, back home.
But I get it. I mean, I do get it.
No, I think the thing is that even with these kind of self-service things, the frustration there is the tech doesn't work all the time.
Well, so this was another thing. I'm 3/4 of the way through.
And,
the scanner breaks.
Great.
And I'm going, oh, you've got to be joking. Well, so what has Carrefour done? They've got the whole place clearly Wi-Fi'd on a grid.
Right, okay.
So everything that I'm scanning is getting thrown up into the cloud onto my Club Points card.
Yeah.
So then they just went back to the, I went and they exchanged it. They brought up my latest purchases.
But it's that extra kind of step.
But it did take 5 minutes.
Exactly.
And I'm just, first time, it's happened a couple times.
It's supposed to be easy, right?
Yeah. I'm going, this is no longer easy.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, though. I mean, this tech's been around for years. I mean, it's not. It's odd that it's just come here now, and I don't know why it's just come here now either.
Yeah.
But it's good that some of these companies are starting to leverage it.
I thought maybe you need to have costumes, though. I thought if I'm going to do this, I need to look like Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk, your phaser,
walking
phaser
around,
stun. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, I just, yeah, I mean,
and you see people who are holding them like phasers. It does kind of look like a phaser.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's only encouraging to drag the husband along to shopping, right? You get to hold the gun.
Yeah.
Okay,
You get
cool.
Okay,
right.
I'm in.
Kind of sit in the trolley as well. No. Yeah.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
That's it. No, I mean, I think what I've been surprised at is the lack of uptake of payless, contactless payment here.
Yeah.
So I'm hardly seeing anyone use
I don't see anyone use that at all.
And even most of my cards are contactless.
Yeah.
The amount of places, retailers was, oh, no, the machine doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, really? The whole point of this is I just go like this and it's all good and less than 100 dirhams goes through, no sign, no pin, no nothing. Oh, no, but, our manager says we need to take a manual transaction. It's just... Yeah.
It's like the retailer doesn't trust it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm also surprised at that. I don't get why that particular process hasn't taken off.
It's kind of now, paying me a watch or paying me a phone or whatever. It's all connected. It should theoretically all be linked in, but still there's that last kind of 5 yards, I guess, right?
Emirates using facial recognition to check in. What do you think of that? Business and first class. They're rolling it out to them, and the rest of us will get it later.
It is a challenge for me, I know, because my passport doesn't match my beard, but I think it's great. I mean, now, honestly, I've flown a few times now because what they're trying to do, the Dubai Airports Authority have said that they want a minimum amount of friction between you and your plane ride.
Well, the whole borders thing, whether, getting in and out of the country at customs now, at the airport, it just in a year.
Yeah.
The change in those machines.
It's dramatic.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Like they learned the mistakes.
Well, you don't. I got on a plane 2 weeks ago, and I didn't interact with one person until I got to the gate.
So this to me,
that's pretty special.
It is special, but this is also something that I kind of look at and go, hold on a second. I don't dislike some of the interaction. I just like it to be faster. But I do like some of the personal customer service.
You can still do that. I mean, I chose to do an e-boarding pass, so I had it on my phone. I chose.
But how many times do you do the e-boarding pass? You get to the counter, they give you a hard copy.
Dubai's good.
I don't want a hard copy
unless
anymore.
you're flying to North America and US, they want a hard copy. But if you're doing regional stuff, it's pretty fine. And the nice thing is that with your Emirates ID, with the Emirates app that I just can't fault at all. With those couple of different things, you can now pretty much go all the way to the gate before you talk to someone, which is pretty nuts, really. I mean, aside from obviously security and stuff, that's understandable. But I think there obviously, and I don't think anyone complains about security checks. Or making sure that people get on the right plane. That obviously there's a lot of flights and that kind of thing. But I think that there was at one point jobs for the boys, because it was like, okay, someone's just checked it there and you're checking it again here and you're checking it, and there was like 4 checks before you basically got through. So, but I think now they've managed to really kind of work on this.
Well, I kind of also like the idea just of getting people on the planes. Like if we start using, so we facial recognitioned in.
Yeah.
They're now tracking how we get through the airport. Yeah. We get to the gate. It would be really nice if they could even streamline, because they now know where we're all sitting. So it's hey, James, your turn to come to the gate.
I mean, that would be epic.
Boom.
That would be epic.
Why couldn't they do that? Because they already know who's there.
Well, I think also as well, I mean, the whole friction point is people.
Yeah.
Now, it still astounds me that people get on the flight and don't know where they're sitting.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
I mean,
I honestly, it's a massive frustration.
And over 50% of the time, you've chosen your seat.
Well, but I think the thing is that there's a lot of people that don't choose their seat, which blows me away. Yeah. I don't know who's not doing that. But then also to not know where you are, because also you got somebody at the door going, you're going to be over there, Mr. Thomas, take a right, and it's on your left-hand side. So I don't know if it's a language barrier or something, or perhaps a lack of flying, or I don't know. But it definitely seems odd that there's
I'm taking the odd side.
I want the aquaflumes or whatever, where we all kind of almost like a slot machine, so we kind of dive in at the top and you land on your seat. That would be pretty cool.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
Hey, speaking of flying, watching a report on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation on the National, where they swabbed some.
Oh,
flight.
I saw. Yeah.
Oh,
the headrest.
Man. The headrest.
That's where it is.
That's
where it's at.
I know, and I'm going. Okay, next time I get on, I'm firing dead all on that puppy.
Yeah.
You know,
but what are you going to do? You going to carry a napkin or something, or a handkerchief and slide it on there, or what are you going to do?
I'm going to wipe it down. Yeah. I always have some Dettol wipes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't carry Dettol wipes.
So maybe you should.
Clearly.
You know, because Bed Bath & Beyond, you can get that hand sanitizer. Just wipe some of that on there.
I don't know. I think you look.
There was nasties on that headrest.
Yeah, but a headrest, they're supposed to change those every flight, right? They
Yeah,
used to
but-
rip them off. And
Yeah,
then
but what if that thing gets dislodged when you're lying there and you got drool running out of your mouth, and then you're just getting the drool in your mouth from the
Right,
headrest?
look, if you're resting that far back, I'm impressed. Like that's like, you know, I mean, those seats do not go that far back at the back of the plane. I get it at the front of the plane, but at the back of the plane, no. You're bolt upright. That is not, you know, your seat can recline all of 7 degrees. So
I know. I was on one. 6 months ago. It was like that. I kept thinking, doesn't the seat go back further? And they're going, no.
No.
Even the flight attendants, no. You're maxed out, Dave.
That's it.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
And they're going, sorry.
They definitely made a change because, I mean, I think...
And I find the seats just not necessary. You know, they're lighter composites. They got better foam and stuff that's obviously lasts longer.
Yeah.
But I'm not finding it as comfortable. I want, a 1978 Lincoln Town Car velour plush seat that I sit in.
Yeah.
Which makes me think there's a lot of memory foam stuff that we can buy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why is someone not selling memory foam seat liners for aircraft so that when you get on, it's vacuum packed. You sit down, you undo the vacuum pack, there it is, and you've got now.
It sounds like you got a bit of a game plan.
1978 Lincoln Town Car.
I don't know actually why
seat.
it's interesting. You make a pretty valid point. Like people travel with travel pillows now.
Yeah.
So travel butt pillows would be a new thing as well. I guess.
I don't get why
There was, but some of these things have been banned. So
Right.
there's in the States there was a company on Kickstarter that produced like a travel cot.
Yeah.
So it turned your seat into a
yeah.
mini bed.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they said there was a security risk with that. So they
But I'm
stopped
just thinking
that.
a butt pillow that you could even maybe leave, or maybe
Like
maybe
a
someone
throwaway butt pillow.
maybe it's what do they do with all the blankets? They're supposed to wash them and recycle them,
Well,
right?
I think they do. I don't,
So why wouldn't they have the same
recycled
kind?
butt pillows?
Well, you spend $5 dirhams, you buy it, and then
I don't know. I mean, most of the airlines here, they don't have that pay mentality, right? I mean, in North America and
but
States,
maybe it's a booth. Maybe it's not the airline. Maybe it's a booth outside. And it's just across all the airports.
It's Doc's
thinking.
butt pillows.
Yeah,
there it is.
There we go.
Yeah.
It could go all wrong, but I'm thinking.
Exactly,
I'm thinking there's something there.
It got horribly wrong, but I think you could. Oh, yeah, there might be something there.
Yeah.
Well, because I
But
think
it's nice. So what have we done? We've just thrown it out on the
new technology.
podcast.
That's it, on the podcast. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You're listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with Andrew Thomas and me, James Piecowye, recorded at the Rove Hotel in Healthcare City, Dubai.
But I mean, going back to the technology part, it really it's quite astounding, really. Now, you kind of. There's a standing joke with some comedians in the US where it's kind of, you get on a plane now and if it hasn't got Wi-Fi, you're like, hold on a minute, are we in 2018 or 1950?
Yeah.
And that's crazy, really, to think that. And you got USB plugs, you've got power, you're connected. I mean, I remember a time not so long ago traveling down to the Far East where I needed to charge my laptop and I had to go into the galley and speak to the stewardess and say, and this was in business, and say, can I charge this anywhere? And she was like, yeah, you can, but it was going to be on a shelf, and and that was it. That was the only power outlet that I could use. And obviously now, one in every seat, especially in newer planes, to give you that facility. And that, it goes back to that kind of wire thing. There's another comedian who talks about the fact that people come to your house now and the first thing they talk about is, can I have your Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, it's like, no.
I mean, it's crazy how that does happen. It's like, listen, I don't want to talk to you. I know I've come over for dinner, but can I have your Wi-Fi password? And do you have a charger? Well, those are usually and I'm guilty of saying that myself, right? But how connected we are into tech that those are the first two questions. Even people you haven't seen for a long time, right? Yeah. Because people you do see, you're already connected and you know where the charger is, But it's crazy how reliant we are on these little devices now to kind of keep our lives ticking along.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
It just makes you shake your head a little bit.
True. But obviously there's still new tech coming on and new tech every day. I mean, I saw some phenomenal stuff at GITEX, going back to the facial recognition thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, that kind of whole Minority Report. It seems like they got a lot of stuff right in the Minority Report, and the whole Minority Report personalized, video walls for kind of you. I mean,
do you remember when you watch the Minority Report?
Yeah.
You're going, oh yeah, that'll never happen.
Exactly.
Now, sure, people will let that happen. Now,
for me,
we're well beyond the Minority Report.
Yeah, and I can definitely see a time where I sit in front of my TV. And it welcomes me. Hey, Andrew. It knows it's me because it's recognized my face on the camera. Open my Netflix, right? And then I'm just speaking to it, normally and saying, okay, Leo, well, let's watch this, do a club, and it's all completely intuitive, completely personalized to my experience as well.
We were at the Hilton the other week, and this particular Hilton, we're sort of rooting around in the room saying, I wonder where the room service menu is. And I said, I think it's on the TV. And it was like, there was no hard copy.
Right.
Everything that you needed
digital.
about that hotel was digital.
Yeah.
You want to order? You order from the TV.
Yeah.
I went, wow.
Yeah, well, more and more hotels now are doing the whole kind of check yourself in as well.
I like
so
that.
most of the apps that you've got, you just go straight to your room. You know what room number is. You know where you can check in. There's no problem. Boom, open
NFC,
the door.
it's
NFC.
open. Yeah, I like
it's
it.
done. Yeah. No, it's great. Again, I mean, it's losing some of that human interaction, like you mentioned. But
it's almost like now you want to have, like you have concierge class and things like that, where you almost want to have someone who's hanging out in the hallway a little bit during key moments.
Not in a creepy way.
Not in a creepy way, but when you're getting off the elevator, you almost want to have
right.
some staff where they're, hey, how are you? Welcome to the hotel. We'll throw you this way, and I think they got to figure that out yet, because when people are arriving and those kind of things, and maybe it's even in the lobby as people are navigating to get to the elevators and stuff.
Definitely,
but strategically placing people who are now just greeting you and welcoming you to the family.
Yeah, that's it. It's nice. And I think that's it. And it can be personalized based on the app, the information you're giving in the app anyway.
And they're already going to know that because they're sitting there with their brand new iPad. And
they've got the information in front of them.
They know that you're coming. It's alerting them. Hey, Piecowye's coming. Run.
Piecowye's coming. They can see you anyway. They don't need an app for that. They got your shirts.
You know what? I think we're going to do this again.
We're on the finishing line?
We're on the finishing line.
Okay, cool.
We're going to be back up in about 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
Doing another one of these. The irony is we do have speaking notes. Do we get onto any of the speaking notes?
We did talk about Apple and we spoke about Geo
3
and
things.
stuff. But yeah,
we'll get 3 things.
That's fine. That's cool.
Podaholiks.com
yes.
is where we live.
That's right.
And
we're up on iTunes.
We're up on iTunes. We're on.
Guess we're everywhere, right?
We're on everywhere at this point.
Yeah. So just search Podaholiks.
And as we're, this is the Tech Talk podcast, but we got the Car Clinic. It's coming back
next
online
week.
Next week it'll be online, and slowly we're rounding out of our shows. They're all going to be here, and I always, people have been we're just kind of sneaking in.
Yeah.
Podaholiks.
Even last week I was in Saudi and someone came over and said, Andrew, what's happened to the show? But we're back on Podaholiks. You can start listening to us again. They're like, okay, cool. Let me know. Yeah. Send the link out. So
there we go.
We find a link off.
So we got the links. We got this stuff. We got the socials. Podaholiks is how you find us. It's that simple.
That's right.
And we want to hear from you. So, find us on Instagram. Find us on Twitter. Send us a message.
Yeah, definitely. Give us a shout.
Yeah, easy.
Cool.
Podaholiks@gmail.com if you want to get in touch. It's that easy. And we'll do it all again in 2 weeks' time. Andrew, Thomas, James Piecowye, Tech Talk's the program. Andrew, catch up soon.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Tech Talk, a Podaholiks podcast with myself, James Piecowye, and Andrew Thomas. We recorded this episode at the Rove Hotel, Healthcare City in Dubai. Got something on your mind? Got something you want to share? Got some tech you'd like us to talk about? Find us on all the socials, Podaholiks. Send us an email, podaholiks@gmail.com, and check out what else we put up on Podaholiks. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll talk to you again soon. This has been Tech Talk.